I am Jake.
Hi, I'm Sasha. And unfortunately, like many of you, our businesses have been negatively impacted by coronavirus, which means a lot of the roles that we were actively hiring for are now put on a permanent or semi permanent freeze, pause, whatever you're calling it. I've been fortunate that some of our roles are still open and we're still actively hiring, but many of them are focused around the growth of the business or put on a temporary hold to make sure we're not burning too much cash while we're trying to figure out how the markets respond to everything that's going on right now.
Yes, same for us. I had a few open roles that we had to push back, that we had open prior, and now they're getting pushed back to Q3, maybe Q4. Maybe you're going through the same kind of thing, right? Like maybe you had to implement a hiring freeze, or you had to take jobs off of your careers page, or unfortunately, maybe you're going through rounds of layoffs, which would be terrible. But looking past that, you know, what are some things that you need to start doing for to start future prepping, future planning for the upcoming months if things do start to return back to normal? How fast might your business bounce back? And I know, like, between the two of us, in terms of hiring, from the point where you actually post a job to the point that you have someone starting their first day, that can take at least 2 months for sometimes, or even longer for more senior roles. So we're starting to talk about what can we start doing now to get ahead of that a little bit. So let's start with the current candidates in the pipeline. Sasha, tell me through that. Like, how are you engaging with those folks that are currently have already applied for jobs at your company?
Yeah, so there's a couple buckets here. First is for roles that I was actively hiring for or semi-actively hiring that we had decided to put a pause on. So for those, it was just a clear communication. We put this role on pause. You're still awesome, but we aren't making any offers yet. So we could offer in the future, but it's TBD. Another group was this future openings role that I have, folks that are interested in our company, but not necessarily a specific role, or we didn't have a role open for them at the time. And so for all of those people, it's just maintaining consistent communication and being super transparent. So it's, if I get on the phone with them, if I'm talking with them, it's talking about our benefits, our compensation, being super transparent about our budget, talking about our start date, our ideal start date, hiring process, hiring timeline, if there's any projects involved in the hiring process. Just because there's more talent and we want to grab up this awesome talent, it doesn't mean that we're still not running a super thorough interview process. So I need to make sure they're aware of what everything entails. And then if at any point any of this changes, if budget changes, a start date changes, immediately communicating it with them. Because like right now, people are looking for like a job and they're without one right now for a lot of folks. And so just being super thoughtful about where everyone else is at in their search. And something that I hadn't thought about, and like we didn't have any of our postings still up, but I saw a note on LinkedIn of someone just saying, hey, if you're not actively hiring for a role, either communicate that in the job posting, like, hey, this is for Q3 or Q4, or just take it down, because people are spending hours customizing resumes and cover letters and getting their hopes up because there are so few open roles right now. And so out of respect to all the people looking and showing interest, like, just don't. Be transparent. And that's why I love the future openings or the general application. It still allows them to have interest. I know we've talked about that a bit, Jake,
Yep.
but I think that's super powerful.
Yeah, I remember I was talking about this, and I need to go back and either take roles down or just very transparently communicate what the status is and that the timeline's a little bit off. So I love that advice. The other piece is something that we've already been doing, but having a general application or like a future opportunities role on the job page. I think that's a great strategy now more than ever, but like at any point in time. I like it a lot for two reasons. One, it helps you capture people that are genuinely they're like really interested in your company. They're not just searching for a job title and just applying to everything that they find on Indeed or something like that. They found your page, they landed there, they're interested enough that they wanna work for your company. So I love that piece. Also, it makes you think a little bit differently about your org chart potentially. Like you might find somebody who's really interested, that's just like really great and very talented, and you weren't even thinking about that as a role, but now you have the opportunity because they are really excited about your company. So I like it for those reasons. Um, you actually have like a really great posting that you use, right? why don't you pull that up really quick? I want to walk through, yeah, this future openings role. So a few of the things I like about it, like some of the sections that you could think about for your own, talking about the teams that you have at your company and like helping a potential candidate think through like where they would fit in your organization, giving them a little bit of context there. And the rest of your post, I really like it because it's really about selling them on your company. So it's like more of a sales page. You talk about the benefits that you have as an employee with your company. You talk about your values, which I think is incredible. Like really shows like what the company's all about. And then more information like that about us section, just so they have a better understanding of the role. And then in the actual application, you talk through, you have like a number of different questions that I really liked. Yeah, so what would your dream role be at the company? I really like that one. Having them kind of like pick why they like the company, where they really want to fit, what problem they want to solve. That option to like include any other work, kind of like be proactive about the project they want to share. And then, yeah, the departments that you're interested in. So actually clicking in and showing like where would I be a good fit and being able to explain that. So I really liked that as a post. It was a way to capture talent. So Sasha, let's say we have a post like this up, or we have like our existing pipeline. You get this pipeline of people that are interested in your company, but you might not be hiring right now. I think that's the case with most people. So how are you engaging that pipeline? How are you interacting with these candidates and keeping them interested and engaged?
Yeah. Well, I've taken a page out of marketing's book and I've tried to create a candidate newsletter, which is just like a customer newsletter, something to engage and keep these people warm. And so unfortunately, like, I wish I could soft land everyone into our company and I can help everybody, but I can't. But I can try to communicate transparently and clearly and as quickly as possible and give them as many resources as I can. And so I'll give you a little look under the hood. But this is an email that I sent out a week or two ago to everyone in our future openings role.
Nice.
I don't have a ton of bandwidth right now. And so I sent out a mass email, but I acknowledge that. It's like, so sorry, I'm sending you a mass email. We've had a ton of inbound interest because of everything going on. Acknowledge that COVID's thrown a wrench into some of our plans, which sucks, but it is what it is. And so just being clear and honest about that. And even though we are fully remote right now, we will eventually return to having our headquarters in Phoenix, and we're not hiring fully remote roles. So being honest about that so people don't get their hopes up and apply. And then I just outline what roles that we're hiring or maybe hiring this quarter, next quarter, the following, and then outline what roles we won't be hiring this year. And then for those that need an immediate role or maybe aren't a fit for any of the roles that I'm hiring, they can check out these different lists that I have linked here, where if they've been laid off, they can either add their name to these lists or they can look for companies that are actively hiring. So any questions there, Jake? I feel like
No, you can stop sharing. I think that's I love that section at the bottom that it's like, hey, if this isn't a fit, if we're not hiring for something that you're really interested in right now, there's also the opportunity to engage with other people in the community. I heard that like you got some like pretty good feedback from that email that you sent out.
I did. It was really nice. Got some positive responses.
Nice.
They kind of fell in two buckets. The first was folks that were actively interested and looking for one of the roles we were hiring in Q2, maybe Q3, and they just wanted to bump their application to the top of the pool. Say, hey, here's what I've done. Here's what I'm really good at. Or I had some referrals come through that as well. Like, hey, I'm not a fit, but my friend is. You should reach out to them.
Nice.
Which was nice. Love the referrals. But then the bigger piece that was nice was just the extreme gratitude for sending over those resources at the bottom. And I forget sometimes that like, we all have different networks and different exposure. And so like worst case, I'm like sending a redundant link to someone. Best case, I'm giving them an opportunity to find their next role, to put themselves on a list to be discovered by another company. And so I almost mean like open sourcing all of the resources that we have to try to come together as a community to help everybody, and just doing that in the most like authentic human way possible.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do that. We'll share those resources, some templates around like the general job postings. You can like put that up on your job board if you have it. You can also, we'll have a template on the email so that you can kind of treat your candidate pipeline like a marketing funnel.